Well, it's recycled sheet metal, and then we cut it. We plasma cut it or scissor cut it, and then we shape it, hammer it, shape it, and mold it.
Well, I started art school in 1975, and that was in Scotland. So, and I've been doing, I studied all sorts of, I did oils and textiles and everything, printmaking. And then I started doing watercolours, and I've been doing it for about 40 years now. And I think it just comes naturally. You know, I think it's just something that's just there, and I don't know, I just love, compared to the oils, you know, you've got to think towards the end of the paint and you've got to think backwards. But it just comes naturally, and I love the way that the paint, it actually flows around the paper itself a little bit, does its own thing. When it comes to the palette, it's just kind of second nature to me for some reason. I just know without even hardly looking at my palette what I'm going to do next and how to mix the colours. Well, I met someone through my art when I did fine art galleries over there in Scotland for 17 years, and I met someone there, an American, and he said to come over here in the year 2000, and I show my work in galleries. I'm from here, so I show my work in galleries throughout town. I go out of the state and do fine art shows, juried art shows, but I like to do this one because it's local.
I oil paint, and I do photography and a little bit of acrylic. I do build-up material. The name of my artwork is Designed by God, Painted by Jenny, because I paint real scenes that I see. Some people can make up beautiful, beautiful scenes, and it just looks great. But I like to paint what I see and just translate it onto the canvas. This old fence is now almost all gone. It's out by the Flying W Ranch. This high school's over here. This is out at the gun club. This is out in Star Valley.
I go places early morning, late afternoon, evenings that chase sunsets. I love the Rocky Mountains. I go to Wyoming and Montana as often as I can.
This one has.
That one's very cool.
I cast them all with a casting stone, very similar to concrete. My wife does all the paintwork on them.
Well, my boss has a couple ranches that the barns are coming down, and none of them are perfect because of the integrity of the boards, but I try to get them as close as possible. They're all unique. There's no two of a kind.
And she's a tricolor.
So I take mountains and scenery, no houses and buildings, just mountains and scenery unless it's an old barn. Southwest, we travel on road trips, sometimes with a destination, sometimes just what happens along.
And it turned out really good. My doctor told me I needed a hobby, and he said beer drinking's not a hobby, so I started doing bracelets. Now these are dog collars. I have all assorted kinds of bracelets. I have red, white, and blue. And over here, I've got friendship bracelets of all kinds and shapes.
Oh, they're all hand-drawn, hand-painted. And we also make the pottery. We usually throw 40 mugs in a day. Stained glass takes us probably 2 to 3 days to do a piece. If it's a big piece, it might even take a little longer.
has a little calf in between the cows, so I call that family ties. Do I have?
This right here is called the coil, and when I go around, I feed in one needle at a time. I make a couple stitches, flatten out my sinew.
Wow, she's making it. That's pretty cool, huh, Carson?
Then I feed them just so. They all need to go in the middle so they won't stick out once I insert them.
Feel free to pick any of them up.